So I have read my fair share of BookTok books over the last few years, and today we are going to tier rank all of the popular BookTok books, see how many of these I have actually read, because I'm already looking at the list and I can see some that I don't even know if I've heard of, honestly. Let's get started. The first book on here is already one that I have not read, and that is My Dark Vanessa. I honestly don't remember who this is by. I vaguely know what this book is about. I've heard it's very depressing and to definitely look up trigger warnings, and I have to be honest, I'm not gonna read this book. I don't like reading books that are gonna make me cry for like the entirety of the book that are sad, because for me books are like escape the world, focus on something else. Even like dystopian books and stuff like that, I like those because it's like not realistic to me, but as soon as it's like a realistic sad book, I don't like it. It's not for me. Okay, second book is Verity by Colleen Hoover. This was the first Colleen Hoover book I read, and I actually really enjoyed Verity. So I don't know if it deserves exclamation mark. I wouldn't say it's forgettable because I think about the ending a lot, and if you've read Verity, I feel like you probably also do. So I think I'll put it in exclamation mark category. Okay, The Deal by Elle Kennedy. I have read this. I am going to put this in did I like? Would I recommend? Sure, because I enjoyed it. I don't really remember anything about it, and I have not read any more in the off-campus series. It's just like a very classic college spicy romance, I feel like. Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover. I have not read this. Is this the one with the plot where like the guy permanently scarred the girl years ago in a fire or something? Like, I've watched like videos on Colleen Hoover books and like the insanity of some of these plots, so I have to put this in. You can't make me pick this up. Verity I started with and I was like, wow, this is good, and then I read It Ends With Us, which I'm sure is on here somewhere. We'll get to how I felt about that. But I have not picked up many Colleen Hoover books since then. Twisted Love, I have not read, but this is on my TBR. I've heard mixed feelings about this, but I think I'll enjoy it, even if I don't think it's the best book I've ever read. November 9th, I'm putting right in with the You Can't Make Me Pick This Up. Again, I've watched like a whole deep dive of this book, basically, and it sounds insane, and I really just don't think I need to read it. I've never heard of this book, so I'm just going to put it in I'm not picking it up. If you think I should pick it up, let me know. Hook, Line, and Sinker. I have read this. I think I'll also put this in did I like it and would I recommend? Sure, because it was fun. It was fine. I don't really remember anything about it. Tessa Bailey is not my favorite romance author. I think if you like a cheesy, quick romance, it's always a good option. Beach Reads. I think I might put this in Would Sell My Soul to experience this for the first time, because I reread Beach Read this summer and it was so good and I loved it. I'm the biggest Emily Henry fan. I will read all her books for the rest of time. Spanish Love Deception, I am putting this in. I'm not picking this up, and you can't make me, because I have heard like not the greatest things about this book. I know some people love it. I feel like I'd read it and like forget about it, and then like what's the point, you know? Next book is, what does that say? Okay, this is going, and I'm not picking this up. I don't even know what the title is. Sorry. Inheritance Games. I love this series. I think I'm gonna put it in exclamation mark, because I don't know if it's like I would sell my soul for it level, but I really enjoyed it. I sped through the series. I have a full reading vlog on it, and it's just such a fun YA mystery series. Better than the movies. I think I'm also gonna put an exclamation mark category, because this is one of my favorite YA romances. I love it so much. It's the first Lynn Painter book I read, and it is still by far my favorite Lynn Painter book. It's just so cute. It's so pure. It has such a good like slow build up, enemies to friends to lovers kind of vibes. We both die at the end. You can't make me read this. I honestly don't really know what it's about, but once again, I feel like it's a book that's sad, and it's like realistic sad, and that's just not, it's not for me. After. Okay, I have actually seen all the After movies and they're insane. Like, they're fully insane. They're some of the worst things I've ever seen, but like I see them in theaters when they come out, you know? It's like that vibe, but you can't make me read the books. I'm not reading. Have you seen how big they are? They're like thick books, and I'm not gonna read it. I also feel like it's really weird, the like Harry Styles Wattpad fanfiction to published book to movie pipeline. Like, I feel like that's weird. The Midnight Library. This is on my TBR. I have not read it, but I want to. Maybe I'll try and read it this fall. I feel like it has like dark academia vibes. The next book, Daisy Jones and the Six. I read this, I listened to the audiobook of this actually, and it was a full cast audiobook, which was really good. I still need to watch the Prime show of it because I have not seen it at all. I am going to put this in It Was Enjoyable but Forgettable, because because I really enjoyed it at the time, but I honestly don't remember that much about it. I think it was really well written because it read, especially in audiobook form, it really read like an interview, like a really in-depth interview, which was cool, but I don't remember that much about it. The next book, People We Meet on Vacation, I'm gonna put this in. It was enjoyable but forgettable also because I love Emily Henry. Like I've already said it, I love Emily Henry, but this is my least favorite Emily Henry book. I think I'm just not a big fan of the like dual timeline, second chance kind of romance. Maybe I am, I don't know. I have to read Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren because I feel like that's the most popular book in that style and it's on my TBR. I hope I'll love it, but People We Meet on Vacation, I was just annoyed with the characters, didn't really hit for me. I honestly don't remember much about it. Malibu Rising, I have not read, but this is on my TBR. I like Taylor Jenkins Reid. I have also read The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, which I think is also on this list, so I would like to read more of her books. We Were Liars. I've not read this either, but I'll say it's TBR because I might read it. I don't actually know what it's about because in my head I always mix that up with One of Us is Lying, which I have read, and I don't know if they're similar at all in plot. Funny you should ask. This is also on my TBR. I actually have this book on my physical TBR right now. It's just like a cute rom-com, like one's a celebrity, one's an interviewer. They have this interview together and like a ton of chemistry and then they come back together 10 years later. I don't know what this says. Every last word. Don't know what that is. It is going here. I'm sorry. Shatter Me. Okay, this is controversial and I'm so sorry, but I'm gonna put this in Don't Make Me Talk About It. I read this book years ago, like when it first came out, and so maybe I need to give it another chance. I don't know, but I remember I disliked it so much that I immediately donated it because I owned like the first 2 books and I did not like them and I gave them away. But I've seen so many people like now currently as like adult humans loving this book, and so I'm like, should I go back? Because I think I read it when I was like maybe like 15 or something, but like if I didn't like it when I was 15, like am I gonna like it when I'm 23 years old, you know? I don't know. So right now it's in Don't Make Me Talk About It. Thousand Boy Kisses. I don't know if I'm gonna put this in TBR or You Can't Make Me Pick This Book Up. I think for now it's going in You Can't Make Me pick this book up because, oh my god, can I drag this please? Because I have heard this book is sad and we know by now I don't love sad books, but I've also heard it's really good, so that's where I'm like, maybe I will read it one day. Bunny is also going and You Can't Make Me Pick This Up. I just don't think I'm here for the like absurdist stories. I have heard people talk about it. I know some people like absolutely love this book and some people absolutely hate this book, and I feel like there's like no in between. I like satirical books to an extent. I really enjoyed Yellowface, and I feel like that's kind of a satirical meta story, but like Bunny's a whole other level and I just don't think it would be for me. Circe is on my TBR. Well, the next one is Song of Achilles. I'm putting Song of Achilles in exclamation mark. I love that book. It was so good. It made me cry and I read it super fast, and Madeline Miller is such a beautiful writer, and so I really want to read Circe. I've heard a lot of people say they like Circe better, so I think I'll love it and I can't wait. It Happened One Summer. Surprisingly, I actually have not read this, even though I read Hook, Line, and Sinker. I didn't realize Hook, Line, and Sinker was a sequel-ish. Like it's a companion novel when I read it, but I'm gonna say this is still on my TBR because I feel like I might enjoy it. I am very hit or miss with Tessa Bailey, but Hook, Line, and Sinker was kind of fun. Cruel Prince. This is going also in exclamation mark. I absolutely love the Cruel Prince trilogy. If you have not read it, it's such a good fantasy world to get into. I think the problem people have with it is it was advertised as like a fantasy romance and like it's not, and like an enemies to lovers, and like it's enemies, like they're enemies and like barely lovers kind of thing. But the world is so incredible and the characters are so interesting and complex, and it was just such a good series. If We Were Villains is on my TBR. I really want to read it. I think it's about a bunch of like theater kids and someone dies or something, but I was a theater kid and I just think it'll be a fun read. Punk 57, never heard of it. It's going in You Can't Make Me Read It. A Court of Thorns and Roses. I feel like this also might be controversial, but I'm putting this in I Would Sell My Soul to Experience It Again. Because I know like people are hit or miss on Sarah J Maas. I love A Court of Thorns and Roses. Like it is by far one of my favorite fantasy series, and the things I would do to reread that series for the first time again. I need to reread it, honestly. I love it. I love it so much. I love all the characters. I love the world. I wish I could erase it from my memory and reread it again. Neon Gods is on my TBR. It's a Hades Persephone romance retelling, and I really want to read that and also Touch of Darkness and like compare them because they're both like Hades Persephone retellings, basically. All Your Perfects. Okay, basically all Colleen Hoover books are gonna end up going in You Can't Make Me Pick This Up because I just don't think her books are for me. Six of Crows. Six of Crows is also going in I Will Sell My Soul to read this for the first time again. Oh god, my camera battery is flashing. We're gonna try and speed run this. I am obsessed with Six of Crows. I love it so much. It's like my all-time favorite fantasy novel series. It's a duology. The characters are so amazing. It has such a good found family vibe. The world is incredible. Watch it on Netflix also. It's great. I love it. I love it so much. Red, White, and Royal Blue. This is going in exclamation mark. I am obsessed with this book. It's so cute. It's so beautifully written. I reread it this summer before the movie came out and I loved it even more the second time. A Little Life. No, we're not reading that. We're not. Again, it is real life sadness and that's just not my thing, and I've heard some people call it like trauma porn. I don't know if that's fully accurate, but I just don't think it's for me. You've Reached Sham. Gotta be honest, it does not really interest me. A Touch of Darkness, we've talked about this already. It's going in TBR. Dance of Thieves, also TBR. I currently have this on my physical TBR. I will basically read any fantasy romance books out there. Every Summer After is gonna go in Don't Make Me Talk About It because I really enjoyed this book until the end, and if you've read it I'm sure you understand and can relate because the end of this book was so frustrating. You know, the big like third act conflict just made me not want them to be together, and so then they get together and you're like, oh, like I don't know about that. But I really liked Carly Fortune's writing, so it was just like this book, the trope of this book did not sit well with me. The Silent Patient. I really enjoyed The Silent Patient. I don't know if it's exclamation mark category, but I also can't say that it was forgettable because the twist in that book is insane. So I think we're gonna put it in exclamation mark. Normal People by Sally Rooney. This, I don't know if this is controversial. You can't make me read this. I just really don't think Sally Rooney's books are gonna be for me. I have not read one, disclaimer, so maybe if I try one I will like it, but I don't like reading about like annoying people and I feel like her books are about annoying people. The Fine Print is on my TBR. I currently have it on my Kindle. Book Lovers by Emily Henry. See, I love this book. I love this book so much, but I don't know if it's like Sell My Soul level. I think this just might be exclamation mark. I feel like Book Lovers is more of a lighthearted romance, which I love and I think it's great and the chemistry of the characters is amazing, but I don't know if it's like Sell My Soul. Conversation with Friends, same thing. I'm not interested in Sally Rooney books. Love in Other Words, TBR. I really need to read this. Make me read this because I feel so left out. I feel like some people will put this in the like I would sell my soul to read again category. I have high hopes. The Unhoneymooners I'm also gonna put on TBR. Invisible Life, Addie LaRue. I DNF'd this book. And I feel like it was mostly because I was in kind of a reading slump and this was like a heavier kind of I need to use my brain kind of book. I don't know if I'm gonna pick it up again. I feel like I'm gonna try, so we're gonna put that in TBR for now. It Ends With Us, I'm gonna put Don't Make Me Talk About It. I will say I kind of ate that book up. Like I read it pretty fast, but it was so frustrating and so depressing to read, and I just really don't think that's like the kind of book for me. So that's kind of where I stopped my Colleen Hoover journey. The Wall of Winnipeg, I'm gonna put in TBR. I've heard some good things about it. I honestly have no idea what it's about, but we're gonna leave it in TBR for now. Reminders of Him, you can't make me pick it up. I'm sorry. The Sweetest Oblivion, that's what it's called. These thumbnails are so small. I don't know what it is. We can't pick it up. Love Hypothesis. I'm gonna say it was enjoyable but forgettable because I really enjoyed it. I really like Allie Hazelwood's writing. I will say her books are very similar. If you've read The Love Hypothesis and Love on the Brain, they feel almost identical, and I feel like that's partially why I put it in this category because those books merge in my brain. Like I cannot tell them apart. But The Love Hypothesis has fake dating, and I love fake dating. I Love You, Jason Thorne is the next one. I don't know what it's about. It's just gonna go here. No offense. A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. This is one of my favorite like YA mystery series. If I can go up. Okay, I'm not putting it there. I want to put an exclamation mark. I love this series so much. It is like the book that I default recommend to people that want to get into reading because I feel like it's really fast paced. It's really interesting, but it'll appeal to like a wide group of people. The Hating Game. I don't know if this is TBR or You Can't Make Me Pick It Up because, you know what, I'm gonna go with You Can't Make Me Pick It Up because I have heard like very meh reviews about this, and I just feel like there's so many romances out there that I could read instead. Heartstopper, this is going in I Would Sell My Soul to read again. I am obsessed with Heartstopper. I love it. It is one of the cutest, most like pure stories I have ever read. The show is amazing. The comics are amazing. I love it so much. I read all the comics in like a day after I finished season 1 of the Netflix show. It's incredible. Where the Crawdads Sing, I'm gonna put this in You Can't Make Me Pick This Up. I honestly don't really know what it's about. The movie looked kind of interesting, but I don't, it doesn't really appeal to me. Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I'm going to put this, I think, in It Was Enjoyable but Forgettable, which I feel really bad about because I know people love this book, and like I also love this book, but I don't remember that much about it. And I feel like maybe I like read it really fast and that's why, but it's like it didn't really stick with me, I feel like. But it's such a good book. Like, it is a really good book. It's really well written. And then the last book is The Atlas Six, which is going on my TBR because I would really like to read it. I definitely want to read some Olive Blake books. I think The Atlas Six, it's like a fantasy and it has like a school, which I'm a sucker for. So this is my entire tier ranking list for all of the popular BookTok books. Apparently I've read less than I thought. Some of these I haven't even heard of, so maybe I need to get back on my BookTok grind. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, you can subscribe down below for new videos every single week, and I will put this link in the description if you want to do it as well. Let me know what your would sell your soul for books are, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!